Hello, tea dorks. Today I will be talking to you about the mystical thing known as Gongfu tea. Now I can hear you asking me, Mackie, just what the heck is Gongfu tea and why should I care? And if you aren't asking me that, then get out. I'll wait. Great, okay, now the three of you still watching, we're gonna start with the basics. At its core, Gongfu tea is simply the way that people in China brew tea, for the most part, unless they're working or on the go. Let's just say it's the slightly more formal way to drink tea. And that's not to say that it's formal, per se. Like, it's about as formal as drinking wine out of a wine glass instead of right out of the bottle. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't want you to go judging people for being absolute fucking savages. Anyway, brewing like this started, I don't know, several hundred years ago or something. And you know what? This isn't a history class. I don't care. Go Wikipedia that crap if you care. Now, if there's any one thing you already know about Gongfu brewing, it's that the tea wares are a lot smaller than you're used to. This here is what we in the industry call a teapot. You've probably seen one before. You put the tea leaves inside, and then you add hot water through this big hole in the top here. See how that works? Then what are you gonna do? You gotta wait a couple seconds, and then you're gonna pick up this teapot and pour it into this thingamajig. Now this here is what we like to call a cha hai, or a gong dao bei, because apparently we really like to use the original Chinese words. It makes us feel fancy. The cha hai serves as an intermediary pitcher where the tea can wait before being poured into individual cups. So why do you need this cha hai thing? Really, it's only for if you're planning on sharing your tea with someone. Unless you're from Chaozhou, in which case you intentionally put a lot more effort in and skip the cha hai for whatever reason. And a cha hai can be nice if you're just having tea on your own as well, because as you're about to see, Chinese teacups are this big. I imagine by now you're probably thinking that all of these teawares are tiny and cute, and that's nice, but I was taught that bigger is always better, so why in the actual fuck would I choose to use these toddler-sized wares? Gongfu tea is about precision and self-expression and beauty. Small wares give you more control over the temperatures and timing. You can choose to stuff your teapot to the brim and steep only for an instant, and then do it over and over again the entire day. Or you can just put a few leaves in and just steep twice. Either way, this is Gongfu tea. As the brewer, you have complete control over the end product. You just need to learn to manipulate the variables. Steep time, water temperature, and water to leaf ratio are the main ones people focus on, but also the quality of your tea wares, the water you're brewing with, and of course the actual tea leaves will all affect your final cup of tea. I know this can be very intimidating when you've never brewed tea before, but if you're wanting to try this out for yourself, you'll only need 2 or 3 things. If you're an absolute beginner, you should really get yourself a porcelain gaiwan as your first brewing vessel to start out. If you haven't seen one of these before, it's basically just a teapot. You put the leaves in the bowl part and use the lid to keep the leaves inside of the bowl as you pour your tea out. They can be a little bit trickier to learn to use, but once you get the hang of it, it will give you more control and consistency than a teapot can, and frankly, it's gonna be way cheaper. You can find lots of gaiwans online. Websites like Bitterleaf Teas, Tea Warehouse, and Yunnan Sourcing, for example, will get you what you need. But chances are, if you live in any decently sized city, there's probably some sort of Chinese tea shop nearby that should sell you a gaiwan. Next, if you're planning on only having tea solo, then try to find yourself a smaller gaiwan. And then, honestly, you can get yourself any cup that's bigger than your gaiwan and get started. But if you do actually have friends and want to share tea with them, you're best to get yourself a cha hai and a few small cups. So now that you've got your basic tea wares and hopefully some decent tea, we need to have a small discussion about your water. If you bought yourself some nice tea wares and tea, then please do not directly use tap water. Tea is literally 100% water, okay? If you just use crappy water, your tea is gonna taste like shit. I know it's really easy to ignore it because water is water, but trust me, whether you have like a Brita filter or bamboo charcoal, or if there's a spring somewhere nearby, whatever you can do, just give water the respect that it deserves, okay? Tea is water. I think that's really all you need for now. Some people believe that you should change your water temperature depending on what type of tea you're drinking, but I don't know, it's complicated. Personally, I think that any good quality tea should be able to tolerate a full rolling boil. You can experiment with temperatures down the road a bit if you'd like, but for now, get your good quality water to a rolling boil, steep for a short amount of time, just a few seconds, then pour your first steep out. This is called the rinse. You can drink it if you want, but 90% of the time, it just won't taste good. After that, keep your steeps to a few seconds each for the first bit, and then let the steeps gradually get longer as you get into your 4th, 6th, or 10th steep. It really all depends on what kind of tea you're brewing and your particular brewing style, but all you need to do is pay attention to the color of the steeping tea to tell when it's done. Whatever color it's at when you think that it tastes good is the right color to look for. Here are some obligatory water to leaf ratios that I personally use if you care. Otherwise, just do your own thing and have fun experimenting with it. That's what this is all about. Good luck.